Hi, this is Evans at motorcycle.com. I am here riding around the shores of Lake Como in Italy. I was flown out here by Moto Guzzi to ride their new Eldorado and Audace models. Both of these bikes are based on the California 1400s platform, but we don't call them Californias. They're different animals. The Eldorado is a very classically styled motorcycle, and the Audace is their new badass urban bad guy motorcycle. The Audace comes with an 18-inch front wheel, 16-inch rear. They are cast aluminum wheels, very, very cool style. Most of the bike is blacked out except for some chrome highlights. The exhaust system is very dark, matte black. It just looks really nice all around. The riding position is very aggressive for a Moto Guzzi cruiser style bike. A fair reach forward to a wide drag bar and pegs and an aggressive sort of saddle to sit on. The engine is the newest version of the California 1400. It's not hugely different, but where they made their changes is they upgraded the classification from Euro 3 to Euro 4, which is set to go into effect the next couple years. And so that means that they've had to rework the EFI, and it really shows. One of my issues in the past with the California was in the Veloce mode. In fact, I spent most of my time with the engine set in the Turismo mode because it had the same top-end power. It just softened the delivery and made it much more friendly. Well, now with the 2016 Audace, the rider mode has been completely reworked, and I've spent almost my entire ride in the Veloce mode. It's nice and aggressive, but there's none of the abruptness that there was before. I think that is due to the work that Moto Guzzi did to bring the EFI up into Euro 4 qualification. The riding position, like I said before, is your arms are kind of spread out and you're leaning very far forward for a cruiser. It's fun and it's perfect for straight line acceleration, but being here in the mountains around Lake Como, there are lots of switchbacks, so it makes it a lot of work with the width of the bars and how they are straight out. They're not angled back in the slightest. And so doing all those tight U-turns up and down out of the mountains, it's a lot more work, but if you're willing to muscle it around, it's really rewarding how fast you go. It goes nicely over the sometimes broken pavement here. It handles the bumps. Even some of the sharper edge high-speed compression bumps are absorbed better. And that's partially due to the fact that to make the Audace sporty, they increased the rear shock travel, which also gained a little more ground clearance. And the ground clearance combined with the use of pegs means that there's more lean angle from side to side, which is kind of fun. Another nice thing that they've added with the Audace is the use of a smartphone app, much like the one they have for the Capra Nord, that shows you things like the lean angle, the volt output, and how much horsepower and torque is being put out by the engine. All sorts of really fun stuff. And it's all saved into the app's file system. The really neat thing about it is, because you're in your smartphone, it's also using the built-in GPS. So you can go back and look at a map, find a particular corner on the map, and it'll tell you what gear you were in, what RPM you were running, and what lean angle you were doing. Really, really kind of neat stuff. The Audace's 1400cc engine is really pretty astounding. It's got gobs of torque starting down low, and it's got the great V-twin shake at idle. The engine dances around in its rubber mounts, but when you get up to a cruising speed, it just goes silky smooth. That makes cruising along at high speed really nice. Being a naked bike, there isn't much wind protection, but what little there is takes some of the strain off of the rider, so I presume that long rides would be fairly easy on this bike. The saddle is comfortable, the reach to the bars gets kind of tiring to the muscles in the middle of your back and your shoulder, but the wind blast itself is not a problem. One of the things that made the California so special in the cruiser world was all the high-tech electronics incorporated into the engine. I think that's one of the reasons why they decided to expand the use of this platform into some other areas. First of all, the engine is ride-by-wire, so that means it's easy to incorporate goodies like rider modes, traction control, and cruise control. Like the California, the Audace has 3 rider modes: Veloce, Turismo, and gosh, I can't remember what the rain one is, but it's for bad weather. Most of your riding, at least most of my riding, has been in Veloce mode now that they've gotten the abruptness issues taken care of. The Turismo mode is really good around town in traffic. It helps ease the throttle application so you can be smooth without having to work so hard. And since we haven't ridden in the rain, I haven't done the rain mode. But in the past, it's worked very well for me. There are 3 modes of traction control as well. Level 1 in the traction control is the least aggressive. It even is tuned to allow some wheel slip for riders who like that. Then setting 2 is a little more assertive, but still allows you to get on the throttle quite a bit. And level 3 is for use in slippery situations like rain, which is very preemptive in how it applies to traction control. And there's a 4th setting which isn't numbered at all. Is you can turn the traction control completely off. All in all, the Adace is a well put together bike. Since the Adace is a European spec bike, it comes mandatory ABS. The Brembo front calipers give good feedback and great power, which is nice since this is a heavy bike. The description of the Adace being an urban bike makes sense to me because the riding position isn't good for the long haul. I think riders who like an aggressive cruiser with a lot of attitude will really enjoy the Adace. It's got a fantastic engine, rider modes, traction control, ABS, and just really, really enjoyable power delivery. To find out more about it, read the whole story on motorcycle.com.